Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I normally don't do this program by myself, but once again, our good friend Mikey is, he's flying the friendly skies. He's doing his work thing, and he's going to try and join us, but I'm not sure that he's going to be able to make it today, but that's okay because I got y'all. And today is hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
That's right. Today is hump day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But as I always like to say, the fun is all in the trying. So this week is this week's gonna be this week's a crazy week. So I've got a lot of campaign stuff that I'm dealing with this week. I got a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with a client who's got a big gala coming up this Friday. So I don't think I'm gonna be beginning the weekend until probably Saturday. This is when I'll finally get to start enjoying or beginning my weekend. But that's okay. Don't let my situation, don't let my hostage situation impact you and your ability to get started, your ability to enjoy the week or the weekend. Before we get started, want to make sure. So, folks, however you are watching us, and we got tons of different ways in which you can watch or listen to the program. If you're watching live, then that means that you're probably watching us on either OpsLens. You may be watching us on Facebook. You may be watching us on YouTube. Now, I'll just tell you right now, if you're watching us live on one of those, sometimes we wind up getting a little censored, and sometimes they don't necessarily want to hear what we have to say. So here's what you do. Well, actually, during Facebook, if you're watching us live, then you'll probably, and even on YouTube, you'll be okay. This episode may wind up disappearing once again because there are many, many times in which we refuse to go along with the high-tech government censorship modus operandi, shall we say. We agree, we disagree. We don't follow necessarily their policy, so sometimes our episodes get pulled down. But one place you can make sure to watch us is Rumble. So make sure if you want to go over, you can actually watch us live. You can participate in the live chat right over there at Rumble. And as a matter of fact, I'm wondering, and yes, I made the mistake in that I did not set this to go on Rumble at the right place. So while we're doing the program, I'm going to actually get this thing going over there at the right place so that y'all can partake. Let's see, set up a new live. Oh, it won't. Okay, so unfortunately, it will not let me. Oh, here we go. Well, let's do this. Why don't I do this? I'm going to go ahead here and I'll tell you what, I'll just have to upload it. I hate it when I do this. So the way Rumble does it is they make you go in every single time and reset it and redo it, right? So in other words, you have to get a new stream for a bunch of inside baseball, but you got to get a lot of new information every single time. With every other source that I have, I just click a button and it's already set up. The stream already goes out live to whomever I choose it to go to. With Rumble, I got to reset it every time, and for some reason, it keeps defaulting to my personal channel, as opposed to sending it to the Rundown channel. So anyway, I will upload the video later to there. But anyway, in any case, folks, now's the time to partake. Now's the time to conversate. You can go ahead and send us messages. I'm monitoring all of the various different places in which we are streaming. So encourage you, if you got something to say, go ahead and say it. And if I see it, I will make it a point to go ahead and comment on it. All right. Now, before we get started, though, into the other stuff, into the news of the day, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors. And we're going to start with Hitman Industries. You can find them at hitmanindustries.net. If you're looking for a rifle or pistol length barrel, guess what? They got it. If you recently purchased an AR, chances are you already have one of their barrels. So if you like it, why not get another one? You can either rebarrel your current rifle or you can go ahead and do a whole new build. But anyway, check them out, hitmanindustries.net. If you're a first responder, you get a 20% discount on your first order. Just saying, check them out. Then we've got the California Republican Assembly, otherwise known as the conscience of the Republican Party here in California in particular, or as I like to say, the Republican wing of the Republican Party. In any case, want to encourage you, if you have not already done so, please take a moment, visit them at cragop.org. They're working to help elect conservatives, real Republicans, conservatives at all levels of government, from school board all the way up to President of the United States. Check them out, by the way, just endorsed Donald Trump for president, also endorsed Eric Early for U.S. Senate. So anyway, check them out. cragop.org. And then we've got Hog Holsters. You can find them at hogholsters.com. HAWG holsters.com, helping Americans wear guns. Whatever kind of setup you have, trust me. Whatever kind of firearm you have, trust me. They have what you need. Go there, check them out. Use the discount code, The Rundown. You'll find it right up there. Use that discount code and get a nice little, discount on us, the folks over here at The Rundown. And then finally, we've got uscombatgear.com. If you're looking for outdoor gear, if you're looking for tactical gear, if you're looking for just fun, cool gear, if you're looking to be tactical or tactical, trust me, they've got them both. You can get everything, quite frankly, but the gun right there at uscombatgear.com. Veteran owned and operated, fast shipping, great prices, great selection. Check them out today. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with this first story right here. The Squad. These folks, man, I got to tell you. So we already know that Rashida Tlaib is out there, and she's out there just flat out continuing to lie. And in her support of Hamas, in her support of terrorists, and the terrorist actions that took place. Now, you might recall that just recently, yesterday, there was a vote to censure her, and here was her response to the motion to censure her. And I'll just play a little bit of what she had. I'll play a little bit of what she had to say.
I'm the only Palestinian American serving in Congress, Mr. Chair, and my perspective is needed here now more than ever. I will not be silenced, and I will not let you distort my words. Folks forget I'm from the city of Detroit, the most beautiful, blackest city in the country, where I learned to speak truth to power even if my voice shakes. Trying to bully or censor me won't work, because this movement for a ceasefire is much bigger than one person. It's growing every single day. There are millions of people across our country who oppose Netanyahu's extremism and are done watching our government support collective punishment and the use of white phosphorus bombs that melt flesh to the bone. They are done watching our government, Mr. Chair, supporting cutting off food, water, electricity, and medical care to millions of people with nowhere to go. Like me, Mr. Chair, they don't believe the answer to war crimes is more war crimes. The refusal of Congress and the administration to acknowledge Palestinian lives is chipping away at my soul. Over 10,000 Palestinians have been killed. Majority were children. But let me be clear. My criticism has always been of the Israeli government and Netanyahu's actions. It is important to separate people and governments, Mr. Chair. No government is beyond criticism. The idea that criticizing the government of Israel is anti-Semitic sets a very dangerous precedent, and it's being used to silence diverse voices speaking up for human rights across our nation. Do you realize what it's like, Mr. Chair, for the people outside the chamber right now, listening in agony to their own government dehumanizing them? To hear the President of the United States we helped elect dispute death tolls as we see video after video of dead children and parents under rubble. Mr. Chair, do you know what it's like to fear rising hate crimes, to know how Islamophobia and anti-Semitism makes us all less safe?
Go. All right, we got it back. Okay, sorry about that, folks. So here it is, clear and obvious, she is lying. All right, let's start with this. First of all, she says like tens of thousands. So first of all, 10,000, right? 10,000 people, quote unquote, have died. And she's upset because the president is questioning the numbers that are coming out of the Hamas-controlled Palestinian Authority, or Palestinian Health Authority, right? Now, keep in mind, these are the people who already lied. And I feel pretty comfortable saying lied about what happened with the hotel bombing. I mean, not the hotel, the hospital bombing. Flat out lied, and continue to lie, by the way, about it. Who lied about the death toll, said it was 500 when there's absolutely no way it could have been 500 because, once again, it was in the parking lot. But I digress. She said the majority of them were children. Well, that's a lie that even Hamas isn't telling, because they're saying 10,000 people have died. 4,000 of them are children. Now, last I checked, 4,000 is 40% of 10,000. That's not a majority, Representative Tlaib. That's not a majority. So you are either just really bad at math, or you are, a liar. A flat-out liar. Oh, let's see. Let's talk about that whole, hate crimes and things. There has been, as far as I know, now as far as what's been reported in the media, there has been the one incident where the individual who stabbed the Palestinian woman and her child, I guess she was Palestinian or Arab. She was Arab. What I do know is she was Arab. I do not know if she was Palestinian. We do know that had occurred. But last I checked, everybody, those who are Jewish, those who support Israel, everybody, right and left, happened there. Everybody has condemned it. I haven't heard you say one word about the gentleman, the 69-year-old man who was killed by a pro-Hamas protester, who was hit over the head with a bullhorn and then was hit his head on the ground and then died. Died as a result of that attack. The numerous number of incidents that have been shown on college campuses like Harvard, like Yale, like Columbia, of Jewish students being harassed and being terrorized by pro-Hamas supporters. I'm not saying that they are Palestinians. I'm saying that there are people out there who are claiming to be in support of Palestine and Hamas, and they are the ones that are actually engaging in violence, or at least threatening violence. I didn't see you come out against any of that. Not one incident, not one thing. I still have not seen you come out and say anything about the rape of women, the beheading of children, the burning alive of families, the direct targeting of civilians. I haven't heard you say anything about that, Ms. Tlaib. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You've had nothing to say about any of it. And yet you want to try and you want to equate it. You want to make it to be the same thing as individuals who are trying to basically take out those who have already sought to try and kill them and destroy and kill them and kill their families. You ignore the fact that it is Hamas who is using people as human shields. You don't want to talk about that. You don't want to have anything to say about that. You have absolutely nothing to say about that. But yet your friends like Miss Ilhan Omar, well, she's got a lot to say. Check this out.
What is true here is that every single one of them has not acknowledged the fact that Palestinians are dying in the tens of thousands, but will continue to say it is us who are not acknowledging humanity. Rashida will stand strong.
Gentlelady's time has expired.
The movement will continue for liberation until every single
Gentlelady's time has
Palestinian
expired.
has the right to
Gentleman
live
from
in
Maryland
liberty.
is recognized.
So let's address that again. Tens of thousands. Tens of thousands. When you say tens, that generally means at least two. So it means at least 20,000. I don't know anybody who's denying that is happening. What I don't understand is why she is not pointing out that it is Hamas who is keeping those individuals locked up, who is refusing to allow them to leave, right? It is Hamas who, because keep in mind, once again, shouldn't have to point this out every single time, but I kind of feel like I do. It is the Israelis who have sent text messages and phone calls and leaflets into the Gaza Strip, into Gaza, to encourage them to please flee to the south where there is water, where there is power, so that you can get away from there and you can be safe. And in some cases, they are choosing not to leave. In some cases, they're being held there against their will by the Palestinians. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a war crime. And I don't see I don't see them pointing out any of that. I don't see them recognizing any of that. And just to kind of close this out, let us be clear. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free is a call for the complete obliteration and destruction of Israel. Because let me be real with you. Every Palestinian that lives in Israel is free. 20% of their population in Israel are Palestinian, are Arabs, right? They are doctors, they are lawyers, they can do whatever profession they want. They are free, they vote, they serve in the military. They have every right that every Israeli citizen has. So I don't know what I don't know what these ladies are talking about. But then again, once again, they have chosen to side with our enemies. They have chosen to side with people who are down for killing our allies. And quite frankly, folks, let's just be real. Once they're done with Israel, they would love nothing more than for us to be next. Make no mistake about it. And that is who Ilhan Omar is siding with. That's who the members of the squad here have opted to side with. And I keep bringing, I never did bring up the article here. This is from NBC Montana. It says the squad reaches fever pitch as GOP-led vote to censure Representative Tlaib looms. Now, she has already been removed. I mean, not removed. She has already been censured. But these are the folks. The only one who I have not, or the only two that I haven't talked about recently are our AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or Cori Bush. Because, but let's be honest, all three of these folks, put it to you this way. They are either willfully ignorant because the evidence is clearly out there. The evidence is clearly out there, like they're talking about them using white phosphorus. Where? Show me the evidence. Show me exactly what, where, when, where, and how you can prove that it's white phosphorus. All they're doing is they're making claims with absolutely no evidence. Tens of thousands of people dying. We know that is not true. We know that those civilians that are dying are being held there by Hamas. These people are once again, they are either willfully ignorant, they are evil, or they are stupid. I would attest to you that they are all three. And I believe that anybody who right now is willing to side with terrorists over the United States of America, well, they got issues. There's problems. There's a big major problem here, and they are it. Anyway, but that just goes on, and that kind of leads me into our next story, which is basically Hamas and the mainstream media continuing propaganda and continuing lies. We already know that they're already doing the best they can to make it sound like this is like what Hamas did was a military attack and they attacked military installations. That was not the case. They specifically targeted civilians. They made it sound like, there is no fuel or water or power in the Gaza Strip. Well, we already know that is not the case. The thing is that Hamas has stolen all the power, has stolen all the water, has stolen all the fuel which they're using for power in order to keep their tunnels going. Right? We know that we already know that to be the case. And the media and Palestinians seem to continue the lie. But here once again are just some of the lies that they're telling. It says here, Palestinian officials. So when you say Palestinian officials, you mean Hamas. Palestinian officials say more than 10,000 people have been killed, 40% of them children. The level of death and suffering in the Israel-Hamas war is hard to fathom, UN Health Agency spokesperson. Now, once again, we already know about the UN. Keep in mind, the UN on their Human Rights Commission has folks like China, folks like Saudi Arabia, folks like Iran, right? These are folks who who are on these various different committees. So we already know that they're full of caca. It says here, Palestinian officials now say that more than 10,000 people have been killed in Gaza since the start of the Israeli-Hamas war, which entered its second month of fighting earlier this week. The humanitarian crisis in the Hamas-governed territory is expected to worsen, and the staggering death toll, already 3 times higher than the number of American civilians killed in the September 11, 2001 terror attacks, is expected to rise as Israel's ground invasion through Gaza City continues. UN officials have stepped up their appeals for a humanitarian pause in Gaza while whole communities have been destroyed and families are struggling for any semblance of normal life. According to Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry, the death toll includes 4,000 children as basic supplies are running out and health care facilities are unable to tend to the wounded. I got, folks, here's one easy way that this can be done. Hamas, let the hostages go. Number 1, let the hostages go. Let's start with that. Number 2, surrender. Maybe Israel promises we won't put you to death. Although I think if I understand them correctly, they would rather die as martyrs. But surrender yourselves. Or at least if you're not going to surrender yourselves, come out of your holes and face the enemy and die and martyr yourself. Go ahead and do that. Because, you'll get what you deserve. You'll get what you want. I mean, hey, you'll get your 70 virgins and all will be good. But the thing is that, once again, for people who are calling for a ceasefire, here's what a ceasefire is going to get you. Well, first of all, a ceasefire is going to get you an opportunity for them to get more fuel, more food, more water, because what they're going to do is they're going to steal it. Whatever humanitarian aid goes in, they're going to steal it. Because they don't care about the Palestinian people. They don't care about the people who live in the Gaza Strip. As far as they are concerned, the more of them that die, the better, because it makes them look good. That's why they're lying about these numbers. That's why the White House believes, God, I can't believe I'm agreeing with the White House, but that's why they believe that these are bad numbers, because they know. They know that the more people die, the worse it looks on Israel, so the better it looks for Hamas. How do we know this? How do we know they're thinking like this? Because they said so. Their leader said so. Their former leader said so. Right? They believe that by the more martyrs die, the better off they're going to be. The better they're going to look to the world. And I get it. Common sense tells you, well, we need a ceasefire. Well, by the way, let's not forget. There was a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. There was a ceasefire. It ended on October 7th with the the brutal murder of almost 1,500 Israelis, right? Men, women, and children, right? Men, women, and children. Okay, Carrie, I do not know if you're talking to me or if you are talking to Miss Tlaib or Miss Ilhan Omar, but Carrie here has a comment over at Ops Lens on Facebook. I'll pull it up here real quick. Carrie Sweet says, "Take your hate back home. You're a terrorist." That's the wrong "you're," just in case you're wondering. You're a terrorist and should be deported today. I'm assuming you're not talking about me because I'm from here. Old girl Rashida Tlaib, she grew up in Detroit. I believe she was born in Detroit. No. Well, I don't know if she's of Palestinian descent or if she grew up in Detroit. But if there's anybody who probably feels at home in Detroit, it's probably Rashida Tlaib, because much of Detroit looks like a bombed out city. Look, I know some of y'all out there in Detroit are like getting offended, but come on, really, you know the exact neighborhoods I'm talking about. So I'm just saying, if I'm lying, well, if I'm wrong, you can feel free to put it in the comments. I more, once again, just so y'all know, I'm more than willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm just not going to admit that I'm wrong until you prove that I'm wrong, or until I prove that I'm wrong. Once I've been given sufficient enough information to know that I am wrong, then I'll own it. I believe in owning my stuff. Just saying. But yeah, anyway, all that having been said, the reason why the president doesn't believe those numbers, the reason why I don't believe those numbers, is because Hamas is liars. They are liars. They're just flat out liars. I'm not saying they never tell the truth. I'm saying, though, that they lie so often you cannot tell when they are telling the truth. And I'm doubting the numbers that they are putting forward. Just saying. And I think with good reason. All right, moving right along. A girl injured by a boy playing in a girl's sport. Now, this one. All right, so let's set the stage here. So in this particular district in Massachusetts, they have a constitution. I think it's a part of their constitution, Equal Rights Amendment, that if there is not a sport available in your gender, then you have a right to participate or try out for a sport in another gender. In this particular case, this school did not have a field hockey team for boys. So the boy got to play on the girls' team. Now, I'm not saying that this boy is transgender. I don't know. But I think what this does do is this does speak to the challenges or the dangers of boys participating in girls' sports. So let's check out the story here real quick.
There are calls for change tonight after a high school girl was seriously injured by a boy during a field hockey game.
It happened last week in a game between Dighton, Rehoboth, and Swampscott. In Massachusetts, boys are allowed to play on girls' teams if the school does not offer an all-male team in that sport.
Boston 25 News reporter Jason Law is live tonight in Foxborough, where the team's next game will take place tomorrow.
Mark and Vanessa, this is a 3-page letter here from one of the captains of the Dighton Rehoboth field hockey team arguing against boys being able to play with the girls. She says what happened to her and her teammates last week, what they witnessed, horrified them.
This is the shot from a male Swampscott field hockey player that sent a Dighton Rehoboth girl to the hospital. It happened last week during the first round of the MIAA Division III playoffs. The injured girl could be heard screaming in pain after the ball came off the boy's stick and hit her in the face. Kelsey Bain, one of Dighton Rehoboth's team captains, told the MIAA in a letter that allowing boys to play on girls' teams under the Equal Rights Amendment is putting the girls in danger. She wrote, "We all witness the substantial damage that a male has the ability to cause against a female during a game. How much longer does the MIAA plan to use girls as statistical data points before they realize that boys do not belong in girls' sports?" Dighton Rehoboth Superintendent Bill Rooney says this is a growing problem among girls' field hockey teams, where at many schools, a boy's only option is to play with the girls.
There are very few male field hockey teams at this point, and so if a male wants to play field hockey, then he plays on the girls' team.
In a statement, the MIAA says it stands by the Equal Rights Amendment. Quote, "We respect and understand the complexity and concerns that exist regarding student safety. However, student safety has not been a successful defense to excluding students of one gender from participating on teams of the opposite gender." Superintendent Rooney says one easy solution is to require more protective gear on the field.
The easiest thing to do would be to change the guidelines in terms of requiring protective headwear that has a full face mask, much like softball.
All right, so on that last point, I will say that he's not wrong in that they probably should have more gear. I will flat out say that. But the problem here is that this unwillingness to recognize that, in particular, when you start talking about prepubescent, when you start talking about high school sports, there is a significant difference between males and females, between boys and girls, between men and women. And a post-pubescent male is almost certainly in a position where they are going to be physically superior to women. So by the way, it's not just about competition, but it's about danger. And you look in this particular case, you look at the safety. There was an incident that happened a few months back with in volleyball, where this case it was the individual was transgender, male transitioning to female, spiked a ball, hit a girl in the face, and she is still, even to this day, dealing with the traumatic brain disorder, TBI, or traumatic brain injury, TBI. She's still dealing with the consequences, with the danger, with the damage that was done to her as a result of that. And these, by the way, are non-contact sports, but they don't make any differentiation with the contact sports. I mean, there was a Fallon, whatever her name is. She was a MMA. Now those were adults. But this was once again a transgender female, male transitioning to female, who was for a while there participating in mixed martial arts without telling her competitors or his competitors that he was a man, that he was biological male, that he had those physical attributes, and there are videos out there of this MMA fighter. I mean, really doing damage to female fighters. I'm talking beating the out of them. And most people who saw it, people who weren't part of the woke, gender ideology war, or weren't part of the whole, new cultural Marxism, found it to be abhorrent, found it to be horrible. Anyway, we have got to get a hold of this. And folks, I say this to say this. Those of us who feel this way, we are in the majority. We are in the overwhelming majority. And I got to believe that there is a way to address this that will allow people to still participate in sports. But we've got to try and find a way to protect our kids. Particularly in this case right now, we're talking about protecting our young girls and their safety as they participate in sports. Because this right here, this is not acceptable. Not one bit. Just saying. All right, moving on to our next story. Harvard's backdoor for rich kids? What? I thought they only accepted people based on their academic prowess. Well, guess what? That appears not to be the case. If you are not, part of one of the victim groups that they set aside spots for, well, then you still got a shot, because it says here Harvard has a secret backdoor for ultra-rich kids with lousy grades. What does Harvard University do when faced with well-connected applicants, the children of mega donors or highly influential people who have less than ideal SAT or scores or GPAs? They put them on the Z list, according to a college admissions coach. That means that students are advised to matriculate after taking a gap year, making them so-called data ghosts, meaning their lackluster academic statistics are not reported in the incoming freshman class. That way, Harvard doesn't take a hit to its stellar academic averages or institutional rankings. If Harvard doesn't want the student hurting their U.S. News and World Report rankings with their GPAs, the test scores, they admit them through the Z list. Brian Taylor, managing partner of Manhattan-based college admissions firm Ivy Coach, told the Post, while Harvard's law and medical schools both pull out of U.S. News and World Report's pulled out of the college rankings, the university has not. It often means that a student really doesn't qualify for admission on their own. So in other words, if you're well connected and you don't have good grades, we'll put you on the Z list, which means you take a year off, go hang out in Europe, go party, go to Hawaii, go to the Caribbean, do your thing, have a good time. When you come back, we'll have a spot waiting at Harvard for you. Now, I wish I could say that I didn't already believe that this sort of stuff happened, because I already believe that it happened. But it's interesting to see exactly how they do it. That's what I will note. And keep in mind, this is the woke university that wants to tell you how to live your life and how to be morally upright and how to do your things. You live your life, but as we see, they are not necessarily morally upright in the things that they choose to do. Once again, is anyone surprised? Really? Please, do me a favor. Raise your hand if you are surprised. I'll wait. Yeah, didn't think so. Anyway, let's move right along. We've now reached that point in time where we are on to our parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Make sure you use discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Remember to get your Hog holster today. All right, first we're going to do the ones that are related to our stories, and then I've got another fun one that you'll like. And this one we'll do directly. This is for Harvard. You know that Harvard, as well as many of the Ivy League universities, has been the location where there has been tons, I say tons, of, hate crimes. Not against Arab students, but against Jewish students. And so in order to facilitate those acts of anti-Semitism, Harvard installs new Jew detectors at all entrances. Yeah, this is from the Babylon Bee, by the way, just so y'all know. I didn't make this up, but yeah, this is what they're doing now at Harvard. So that they know that when you walk in, if you happen to be Jewish, they will know exactly how to deal with you. Or who to deal with, I'll put it that way. And then this one also having to do with our story today. You will love this one. Also from the Babylon Bee, Rashida Tlaib says Heil Hitler was just an aspirational call for freedom. Yeah, I love it. All right, now this last one, I will tell you, and you've heard me often say, the problem with social media today is that people have gotten used to disrespecting people and not getting punched in the mouth. Well, now with the introduction of social media police, well, doesn't look like that's going to be the case anymore. Check it out.
Are you Boxing Mad 69 on Twitter? Yeah. On the 23rd of April, you tweeted, Garcia staying down after a body shot, pathetic, would never be me.
So?
Do you stand by that?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe, in you come.
Joe?
Okay, so maybe you want to think before you tweet next time, yeah? Yeah. Good lad. Well, people have gotten way too comfortable talking on Twitter, especially since Elon Musk took over. So if someone steps out of line, we just pay them a visit. Okay, we'll be right there.
Someone has just tweeted, anyone outside the heavyweight top 5 is a bum.
Thomas, you're up. Sometimes just the threat of action is enough.
I'll delete the tweet.
See? Tweet deleted. While on other occasions, we have to really think outside the box to make our point.
Social Squad? Who? You tweeted WWE is fake. I'd rather have a bath with me nan than watch wrestling.
What are you going to do about it? Pretend to knock me out with a steel chair?
Not exactly.
Nan.
Now let's get that bath running, shall we?
Oh, I dropped my soap. Can you get it for me, sweetheart? The soap.
Oh my, if only. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. All right, folks. Well, hey, it's about time to wrap it up. Before we do, please make sure, visit our sponsors. You got Hitman Industries. Visit them at hitmanindustries.net. Rifle and pistol length barrels available for you. You've got the California Republican Assembly. If you want to be a part of California's future today, join CRA. You got Hog Holsters. Just visit hogholster.com. Use discount code The Rundown. Get your Hog holster today. And finally, you've got uscombatgear.com, the place to go to get all of your outdoor tactical gear. And with that, we are done for the day. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encourage your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday. Till then, y'all have a good time.
You